Alright, so what's going on, everyone? My name's Chris Klein, and this is my first presentation on the Apple smartphone patent war. So today I'm just going to be talking really quickly about their patent war and whether it could be hurting their company and their potential to grow in the future. So really quickly, we all kind of know how Steve Jobs felt about this, or at least we probably do now. This is a quote I found that told his biographer that he would rather wage a thermonuclear war with Google than make any types of deals to share its technology or its IP with the Android operating system. Steve Jobs actually loathed Google and was quoted as saying he would spend his last dying breath, if needed to, and every penny of Apple's, at the time, $40 billion in the bank to right this wrong. He thought that Android was stealing the Apple OS, basically. So, as we see, Apple's been suing a lot of people, HTC, Samsung, Motorola, a lot of the companies that are using the Android system, amongst others. The results of these lawsuits, if Apple wins, is minimal. It's typically something based on cosmetics. It's the manufacturer, whoever it may be, has to just kind of change the aesthetics of their product, and then they can reprint it, produce it again. It's not really any major benefits that Apple's getting, but at the time, same time, they're slowly keeping their competitors from just running rampantly, and they have the money to do it. As I have here, just some of the pros. They are costing their competitors money and setting them back, of course, as I mentioned, and their cash. Apple has so much cash, just about $100 billion, that this has absolutely no effect on them financially. They literally could be burning this money, and it would not hurt them. They have an incredible amount of cash. When we look at the cons, see the list is a little larger. As more players enter the market, it's only a matter of time before Apple is no longer strong enough to hold them all down. A lot of the software designers think that this is stifling innovation. The necessity of getting a patent on absolutely everything you do. Some software designers actually think that they have patents of things that they don't even know why they're patented or what they're doing with it, and they really think it's stupid. Android is growing. Samsung has passed Apple as the biggest smartphone manufacturer in the world. A couple others. Apple may become reliant on this technology in the future, and they are forcing their competitors to innovate while they themselves are just reacting. So here's a couple different approaches that they could take. They could drop some of the claims against Samsung, for instance, in return for an agreement for Samsung to not use Apple technology for a period of time. They could try to get price breaks with some of the manufacturers of the hardware that they're using. They could have mutual agreements not to focus on different parts of the market. And they could even do something as radical as allowing some of their software to be used on their competitors' hardware in terms for licensing fees, or to keep other companies from getting involved in the market. So that kind of was a lot of facts, but basically, my opinion is, I think, especially with technology, it's important to allow for innovation. It's important to allow people and companies to develop new means of utilizing the equipment that we do have now and producing the future equipment that we'll be using tomorrow and years to come. Because in my opinion, I think that technology has exponentially increase the rate at which our society and our world is developing, the way that we're connecting with one another, our efficiency, our ability to innovate, all of these things. And so while I understand that Apple is trying to protect themselves and they are trying to make sure that their property, their IP, their business model, their future is guaranteed, I think they have established themselves as a player. They have a huge core user base that really isn't going to change. They're a tried and true company that is known to generate results and to produce something that people love to use. And so to take this route to protect themselves, I think it's foolish. I think that ultimately they are going to lose this battle. Their competitors will either just develop the technology that Apple needs and then sue the heck out of them, or they'll just find enough ways around what Apple owns that they'll just be able to compete on their own. And then where's Apple? So I think that they should try to work with these people. And that concludes it.